Welcome everybody to episode 16. I am Jeff. Here we go. That is Paul. Paul. Um, I guess thank you for showing up tonight. Don't forget to like and share. I know I hate saying that because I hate when other podcasts say it, but apparently it does something for you. Share it with your friends. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your Twitter, Instagram. Anyway, welcome to episode 16. Paul, because the Eagles are on. How many
Okay.
fantasy leagues have you win this year?
Two.
Mine and
Another one that I play in with my brother and my pops.
the Duke or the other brother?
The Duke. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What?
he's dead.
How many
He's
you
dead.
in?
Um, well, I got out of one. Let me tell you how I got out of this one. So it's you know the people, it's the Manson family, those people. So basically, it went like this, right? Like this was my fourth year in the league, and I took over a team that sucked. The league's similar to ours, same kind of rules.
Like Dynasty.
It's the dynasty rules, and keep 10 players, yada yada. So last year, I finally win the championship. Me and my dad share the team. I win the championship. And then I find out, oh, it wasn't real. Nobody's really paying or playing. And I was like, bullshit. Because I talked to another friend of mine who's in the league, and she got paid a couple of years ago when she won. Because I was bitching to her about it. Like, it's bullshit that, like, whatever. So I stay in the league again. Not a big deal, right? So the league shrinks by two people. Not a big deal. They changed the site. Not a big deal. They suddenly start trading draft picks on the day. Like this happened the last second. The league like really came together like last minute. Like the draft would have been on Monday. Um, so they changed the site, and suddenly two of the people are trading draft picks along with players, right? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, we can trade players. So now I start asking questions. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. I'm like, I lost. I don't get paid in the year I actually win. I still get last pick because you're not changing. You're doing the draft order based on a season that didn't fucking count. And now you're trading draft picks all of a sudden. All of that I didn't fucking care about. You know what I mean? Because maybe this year we'll get paid. It's a real league, whatever. I might even get into it. And then they're like, oh, we're changing the rules about drafting too. I mean, the rule that they want to do makes sense, but at the time they implement it, it's not fair. So instead of being like a snake draft that we have to do because that's all ESPN allows you to do, you can do. So I would be the 10th player as the champion. So instead of getting 10 and 11, I get 10, and then I get 20, and then I get 30, as opposed to my back to back. Because that's technically how they do it in the pros. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, which is a fine rule, but I'm not a I am. Oh, and we also had the option like, do you want to do a fresh draft or do a keeper and keep the old teams? I'm like, well, I'm not beat for losing my old team and I won a championship, so I'll keep my team, take last pick, deal with not winning the money from the year before, and just play. And now, on top of it, I lose my back to back pick. And I was like, if I knew that was going to happen, I would have just voted for a fresh dynasty draft. I mean, all good, new, fun, new people. Let's do it. And then they tried to tell me like, oh, no one ever gets paid. You could always trade draft picks, and I'm like, bullshit. Because on ESPN, you can't change the draft, or I would be changing draft players in our league. But since you can't do it, you don't do it. And then he's like, and you still get last place, and you still don't get the other picks. So I was like, fuck you, I'm out.
So you got screwed over like three times. I do want to back up for a sec. Like you mentioned, you won last year and you didn't get paid. Was there a buy-in?
There was the 2 years before that because I paid in.
So you didn't actually pay in last year,
No, I never paid
right?
in.
So I
But
guess
maybe
go ahead.
so I didn't lose money, but I didn't win the money I should have won for participating in the league.
I guess my question is, why would there be any money there to pay you out if nobody paid in last year?
We were supposed to. It's like our league. You're normally do pay.
Oh, because we
And
normally, because we
also,
all know each other, we pay you at the end of the year. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
everybody
And
just decided they weren't going to pay. Is that how it went down?
basically,
And then you got screwed.
basically, and I took all of it. And I was going to deal with it because I didn't really lose money hypothetically, except for the money I put in the first 2 years. But it's a $50 league, so it's not murder, but it sucks. And then, like I said, the final straw was the fact that like, oh, look at it from my point of view. Like, I got screwed a whole bunch of times, and I'm like, you can't keep telling me that I'm not standing in shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Here, let's
So
just shovel a little bit more on top of that.
yeah, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm out.
All right, so you like literally quit right before the season started, or right before the draft happened?
I quit 20 minutes before the draft.
Yikes! That I'm sure that messed up everything for them. But
No, they probably found somebody. Um, but like I said, the league came together from like Friday to Monday. It was like, you want me to reactivate the league? Oh, I don't want to run it. Someone else is going to run it. And then this someone else, I'm not sure who it was. I don't have the number. In
it
the,
doesn't matter. Right.
yeah, I know who the person is probably when I see him. I just don't know the fucking number.
Right.
But I was a little pissed. But at the same time, I was trying to get out of fantasy leagues. You know what I mean? I barely want to run mine.
Well, running them, it's a pain in the ass, man.
I just want to play.
Yeah, it kind of sucks the fun out of it. The scheduling the draft is usually a massive pain in the ass, and then collecting the money from everybody, even if you're good friends with them, it's like sometimes some people you got to hound them. So yeah,
that's the way it is. So
yeah, it gets stressful.
Like, God bless my sister who took over my fantasy baseball league, because that is every single day you play.
Right.
And the league was a disaster because it was like I was still running it my last year of like right before I died, so it was a fucking disaster. Not like didn't even pay attention. You know, I wasn't listening to anybody in the league.
Right.
But
yeah, no, there are more important stuff going on.
Yeah, but I was even before that all happened. It was like the process of me dying. You know, I was just like at it. But so I gave it to my sister, and then she saved it. She brought in a few of her people. So now it runs officially, except for G, because he pays every year but never really plays.
Oh, right.
Yeah, every year.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of fell out of I don't really watch sports at all anymore. Really just hockey, and that's pretty much about it. Now I'll watch UFC on occasion if there's like big fight. But other than that, I don't really pay attention. Not hating on it. It's just just I don't know. I think it's because everything I know about the world now, like there's just like really it's just a game. Like, is this really important? But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's entertainment, I guess, at the end of the day.
I think my attitude changed when I stopped drinking. Because sports was like my number one excuse to drink. You know what I mean? The game on every day, I could drink all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I like almost don't even like going to the baseball game. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God, I hope it's not extra innings. You know what I mean? I'd rather watch this game at home on my couch now. But look, I follow the Phillies, but I don't have cable, and because I live in Market, I can't use the like the league pass, like the NFL ticket for baseball, because you don't get in Market games. So even if I had the NFL ticket, I can't watch the Eagles. I can't watch.
That's so stupid.
I know. So I have to stream it. And crack streaming the Phillies every single night can be a pain in the ass because every once in a while it lags.
Cuts out, it lags, yeah. Sound cuts out, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm lucky that the game tonight is on Peacock because I have Peacock. Or Michelle has Peacock because she has to watch all her fucking. Peacock has like the Bravo shit, like Housewives and the shows about the people on the boats, like the service people on the boats.
Those silly reality shows that just make our society dumber. Again, for entertainment purposes, is fine, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the sailing one, like Below Deck?
I've seen clips of it, and that was enough for me.
Well, I got this trick from Fish years ago when he was dating his crazy person in the beginning. He put 2 TVs in his room. So like I have 2 TVs out here. So like I'll play my video game or whatever with the volume off or headphones on, and then Michelle can watch Housewives. But I don't mind Housewives so much because you can kind of listen to it and hear the drama. Be like, this is just so fucking ridiculous. You know
it's so stupid, yeah. Like you kind of got to laugh at it.
Yeah,
and so much of it is like scripted nowadays too. It's not even like reality TV anymore. It's like, hey, we need you guys to fight because we need ratings. So call her a dumb bitch so we can get this on. You know,
Some of them really hate each other though. But
they do.
anyway,
I
the
look
one
at
that,
it like WWE. Again, it's like, how do
no,
I
that's
know?
wrestling entertainment.
How do I know you guys aren't all buddy buddy behind the scenes and just doing this in front of the camera? I don't know that.
Well, it depends on the show. Like The Bachelor and shit. I know that's all like super scripted. And that one show that was good on. Remember when True TV was cool for a little while? The auction show at the garages.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That was like pretty much real-ish in the beginning, and then it just got really fake and stupid.
yeah. It seems to happen to a lot of those shows. I think in the beginning, maybe the authenticity is there, but again, there's only so much drama you can have, especially if you're dropping an episode every week. I mean, how often do couples, families, whatever, cause a lot of drama, you know?
Yeah, the
And
only
if yours
reality.
does, maybe you should not.
Do you watch it? Do you watch any reality show? The Survivor.
No,
Game
not off
You're
the top of
Free.
my head. No, my buddy loves that show. He's always watching that shit. So I've
The only
seen
one
I've seen a bunch of episodes, but I don't watch it.
the only one I keep up with is MTV World Rules Challenge.
Okay.
You know what that is?
Vaguely, I do remember Road Rules from like 20 years
Okay,
ago.
there's Real World and there's World Rules, right?
Uh-huh.
So they took people from the different seasons, they put them like in a house in like the Bahamas or some shit, and they put them on teams and they compete in events. And then at night they drink and there's drama. But now the drinking and drama is pretty much out of it because they're all serious. It's like they've had like this is like a 40th season right now.
Oh no shit.
Not 40 years, the 40th season.
Right.
So and there's like a decent amount of prize money. These guys are all in shape and shit. So and they play interesting games as teams, and there's like a twists and turns, and people got to go home, and then the last people make the final, and the final is always like some type of marathon, and there's always puzzles and carrying heavy shit. There's always like an eating thing and eat some fucked up shit.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't hate on this stuff, but again, it's like when you're if you like reality television, that's okay. If it brings you joy and it spikes your dopamine levels, watch it. But just
you know
know
what I'm
what
saying? It's a game as opposed to the Osborne
well,
show.
I just mean in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, just know that like it's dumbing you down essentially. Like there's nothing to learn there. It's just a dopamine spike and then you move on, and you can get that through so many other things, maybe more
So,
positively.
I call it background noise.
Sure. Like I said, I'm not telling people not to watch it.
You don't,
Just like be
you
aware
don't
of
have
it,
to pay attention to what's going on, but you like to hear. I don't listen to music when I do shit. I listen to people talking.
Right.
So I'd rather listen to Law and Order all fucking day, and just in the background when I'm not doing whatever. Not original Law and Order, not the spin-offs.
The one that your moms used to watch, like back in the day.
Yeah, it's no, it's yeah.
She probably still
There's a
watches it. Does your mom still watch Law and Order?
no. They're all up on. They watch Blue Bloods like you wouldn't believe,
Blue
and then they
Bloods?
watch
That sounds
Blue
like a
Bloods.
cop show.
Yeah, it's Tom Selleck with the mustache,
Oh.
and Marky Mark's brother, Donnie Wahlberg, is in it.
Oh, he's good.
So like, uh, Tom Selleck is like the commissioner. His father is the ex-commissioner. Donnie Wahlberg is a detective, and then the younger son is beat cop, and the daughter's the DA. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's in New York and blah blah blah. But
Nice.
it's been on for a minute.
I haven't had basic cable in like over 10 years, so I don't even know what's on like regular TV.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a CBS show.
yeah, I haven't had CBS in ages.
Yeah, but
Well,
eventually all this shit runs onto the
sure,
license. They rent it out or
sure,
whatever.
yeah. Some of it goes to the streaming platforms, but I don't really even have any. I'll be honest, I mostly just watch YouTube, and movies and stuff. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I do a lot of YouTube. Um, I have Prime, so I don't really watch a lot of Prime, but I look at it. Like I think I'm gonna watch the new season of the Hobbit spinoff.
Oh, the Rings of Power.
The, yeah, the first season wasn't so bad.
I don't know, man.
Did
I
you
didn't.
watch it?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Uh,
I not just the it's not just the lore breaking, but it's just It's cringy to me. I mean, I
I
don't
really
know.
don't. I just remember the one dude, like the elf who was like a slave for a minute.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then and then I remember like the one girl. That's all I remember of the plot right now.
Yeah, they changed a lot of it. I've seen a lot of stuff on the new season too, which apparently I was just watching something last night. Their viewership dropped in half. Allegedly. I don't know much about the ratings, but yeah, I think they had like 1.8 million viewers at the premiere of season 1 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And for season 2 premiere they have like half that. It's like 900 and something
Well,
thousand. It's not even a million viewers.
the
Go ahead.
first season got bad reviews. I think they only made a second one because they dumped so much money into it. They probably
Yeah,
tried to.
they're almost like committed at this point. Like they
Yeah,
almost kind of have to finish it since there's so much money. But yeah, it just seems. I have these conversations a lot because I work in a movie theater nowadays, so like this stuff comes up a lot. What is Hollywood doing? What is Disney doing? How do they mess up things like Borderlands, for example, right? Like you got a movie based on a video game, right? All you got to do is copy the plot from the video game and make the characters true to character. And that ship's gonna sail. All the Borderland fans are gonna go, they're gonna watch it, even if they don't love it, it's gonna be generally well received. But
yeah, they didn't watch it.
I haven't seen it either, but it got awful reviews. And
I
I've talked
know.
to so many Borderlands players that are like, man, it's trash. You
The
know.
game's cool. The game's fun as hell.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the games, but apparently the movie sucks.
It's a
So
fun. It's a fun game if you're playing with somebody. By
yeah,
yourself,
well
it
it's
gets
a
kind
looter
of fun.
shooter. It's like Destiny.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Destiny, I cracked up that thing the other night.
The shard this, the shard that. What about the Crucible? Did you see that grenade toss? He's a danger only to himself.
Yeah, how was that? I haven't fired that thing up in years.
To catch up, I need to, including getting a season pass. Um, it's $100.
$100?
Yeah, so I would get on two full DLCs back. Like the Witch Queen, which whatever is the last one I paid for. Then was a Light something, and then this one's Beyond the Light. So that's 6 seasons and two full DLCs that I'm behind. There's another fucking color in there now. Like there's blue and green. Um, you can slide. I
You
know.
could
I just
slide,
turned it on
you
the
could
other night.
slide before.
Well, I just turned it on the other night, but I can't really do anything because I was at the soft cap of. Well, I was bumped to 1900, and then the soft cap to even play Vanguard is 1945. So I did that in like an hour. But just playing Crucible and Gambit.
I mean, it's a
And
good
actually,
game. I just, yeah, I think I checked out
I
right before
know
Witch Queen.
there's this dude who works over the Wawa by me that I go to all the time. He's a younger cat named Jake, and I heard him and his buddy talking about video games one day, and they're like, "Oh, I'm talking about Destiny." I was like, I used to play it, so I shoot the shit with him when I go in. And there's been no game that's been like, that I've been diving into, no real interest. Even like the Tales game, I found myself skipping the story because it was so boring. It's just the typical Japanimation game, and the fighting was fun. I was just trying, like, I wanted to grind as opposed to follow the story.
Yeah,
Um,
mostly I retro game, and my thing is RPGs, like older RPGs and stuff. And yeah, I skip. When we were kids, I used to love the story, so I would read every single
mhm.
thing that every single character said. Talk to them multiple times to make sure I saw everything they had to say. Nowadays, I skip all of it. I just grind. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but the grind is fun to me.
it's like one of the people you got to talk to, and you can pick like 6 different things to get all the information. And I'm just like, nope, skip to the bottom. I don't have any questions.
Yeah,
And it's like hold circle to skip cutscene. Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
yeah. I do the same thing.
And then I still play Battlefield 2042. Um, it's not like crazy maintained with new shit, but every Friday they change the games up. Um, and it still give you 64 and 64 with all the chaos. So that's still fun. You could probably jump onto that for like $5 now,
Nice.
and it's crossplay.
I mostly just play Neverwinter. I play every day. You kind of have to in that game. If you don't like you're all in or you're all out, or
I feel you.
'cause you can't just kind of jump on. Oh, I'll just play 5 days a week. You won't get anywhere.
Mhm.
But yeah, I play that every day for probably about an hour. It's like part of my morning ritual. I wake up, I get a cup of coffee, I sit down, I game, and then I drink my coffee while I wake up.
Do you know there's a esports Smite League?
No, I like Smite. I know the
Yeah,
second game
that's what I told
came
you.
out. It's coming out.
I
Something
was
like
in.
that.
I was googling. I was trying to find a championship to watch. That's not StarCraft or League of Legends or something.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
very similar to League of Legends. It's just the point of view is different.
Whatever. Um. Yeah, and I guess I got into like I found a YouTube video and it's like the death of esports, and then I happened to see them talk about another league, and it's like they do Smite. You know what I mean?
Wait, esports is dying?
Yeah. I'll send you the video. It's hard. I can't really explain. It has to do with like who's putting money in and um obviously it's about money because it wasn't making any money.
Oh,
Because like you know what I mean? Like how many games are really the same forever? Like they have Overwatch, they have StarCraft, Rocket League, Counter Strike. Um, it's like trying to get a minor league division of anything get going. You know what I mean? I'll send you the
yeah.
video. It was like an hour. I think it's called the death of esports or what killed esports.
Well, that's unfortunate to hear because obviously gaming is probably bigger than it's ever been. But yeah, I guess if they
Get in there, Barkley. I think that's his
again,
third. That's his third touchdown.
wow. I predicted. I was telling my pops like a week or two ago, and I was like, "Yo, he's gonna be good this year. Watch." Unfortunately, I
Yeah,
didn't get to draft him on my teams, but
I didn't get him either.
yeah,
He went early, and I did some fresh leagues, and he was top 10 every time.
I know he's gonna have two monster games this year when he plays the Giants. That's I bet he rushes for over 200 yards in both of those games. You heard it here first. I said that. Um, Stupid
There's
Giants.
something I wanted to tell you about though. I only had a couple of notes. Oh, you're gonna get a fucking hoot out of this. So, did you watch the Tucker Daryl Cooper interview yet?
I saw some of it. I haven't seen the whole
Okay.
thing.
So I watched it, and during one of the commercials, Tucker advertises where he's gonna be. So at first, I asked Michelle. I knew she wasn't gonna go, so I asked my pops. I'm like, "You want to go see Tucker?" And I'm like, "Guess who his fucking guest is gonna be? Alex Jones."
Oh no
So
shit.
I'm gonna go see Tucker and Alex Jones and bring my pops.
I like Alex Jones.
Disclaimer. I know Alex Jones, Sandy Hook. I really don't know much about him. I know he's had some right stuff. I know he was really wrong on some stuff. I normally don't pay attention to a lot of it because of the Sandy Hook thing. But
Yeah.
I've seen enough clips and him on other people's shows to know that he's not completely whacked out, and he's been right on a few things. And I know my dad doesn't believe in any of that. My dad's straight GOP till the day he dies. He's probably like, I can't believe Dick Cheney is supporting Kamala.
They
Did you
play
see
for the
that?
same team. Your dad doesn't know that?
Did you see that today? Dick Cheney is
Yeah.
supporting
Well, I
Kamala.
saw Liz endorse her the other day, so you knew this was coming, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like 20 years ago, Dick Cheney was the devil. You know what I mean?
He's still the devil.
He's still the devil. But I'm saying, but like, just because he's, like, look, another Republican is voting for Kamala. Like, of all the people, Dick Cheney and George Bush are like, yes, they support us now. What are you
Yeah.
talking? Those are like, no. You know what I mean? Like, now they make fun of Trump for David Duke, the KKK guy.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. I'd rather have David Duke than Dick Cheney.
Well, David Duke probably hasn't killed as many people as Dick Cheney or George Bush, so there's
I
that.
knew you were gonna say that too, but yeah,
I don't know if David Duke has killed any people. Hopefully
I don't
not.
care. It doesn't matter.
I was just making a joke.
Me too.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think 20 years ago or whatever, I'd have been shocked to see somebody like George Bush or the Cheneys or whatever endorse any Democratic candidate for that matter. But knowing what I know today, I was like, of course they did.
Yeah, and their Democrats are bringing them in.
Of course
Like,
they
come
did.
on.
They all serve the same masters. Of course.
Yeah.
I would throw Rumsfeld in there too while we're at it, and Nikki Haley too. Why not?
It's funny.
You know?
Well, the neocons.
Yeah,
Um,
the
it's funny.
Forever War people.
I actually met Dick Cheney once. Me
Oh,
and
did you?
Yeah, me and Bart Brains. We my dad, when they did something in New Jersey years ago, at one of those fundraiser things. That my dad. It was Reagan Day. My dad has all this memorabilia from Reagan era conventions because he was part of the New Jersey delegation or whatever. So he has this. He brings like this big spread of shit to put out on Reagan Day, and it's a fundraiser. You pay for the plate, and I actually had to, I had to like wear a tie and shit, which I hate.
Mm-hmm.
And the one year Dick Cheney was there, so me and Bart Raines actually got a picture with him.
Oh, nice.
Well, I wish I knew what I knew now back then.
You probably would have said some shit to him.
Yeah,
You know?
whispered in his ear like warmonger.
Yeah. Or had to ask him a couple questions. So, yeah.
Or no, don't even do that. Just be like, the cow walks slowly at midnight. Just do some like some weird shit to him.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
Oh, speaking of Reagan, so obviously the Reagan movie drops.
Yeah.
We had it. We started showing it this week in my theater, and well, not my theater.
Was it a lot of people?
No. And the surprising thing was I was watching something the other. I don't think a lot of people went to see Reagan because the new movie this week is, or as of yesterday, is Beetlejuice, of course.
Is what?
Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah.
Beetlejuice was we were packed house yesterday for all of my Beetlejuice showings. But the strange thing is what I saw from Reagan, and I'm not gonna pull it up. This is just hearsay. It may or may not be true, but apparently on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics destroyed it. Said it was garbage. What's that?
Of course they did.
Yeah, they said it was garbage, and then apparently the audience really, really likes it. So I don't know, but like the mainstream media's been bashing it. So
that's because you didn't watch. I mentioned to you that Dennis Quaid was on Rogan a couple weeks ago. Right?
Dennis Quaid, like the actor?
Yeah, the guy who plays Reagan, Dennis Quaid.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so he's on Rogan, and he's like, he's starting to come around. He's like, I didn't know all this shit, and now he's like, they don't want this movie of Reagan. They're not supporting it, so Hollywood isn't backing it. They aren't advertising it. I had to go through all these hurdles. I'm taking damage. I'm not getting jobs or whatever. So he's coming around to the like Vince Vaughn, Tim Taylor. That's not his name. What's his fucking name? Tim the Tool Man.
Oh, Tim Allen?
Yeah, Tim Allen, right there. Yeah, like that.
Oh, is Tim Allen awake?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
You ever watch his show Last Man Standing?
No.
That is on. It's probably on Plex, or just get it your way. Last Man Standing. It's fun. You'll like it. It's half
So
hour
did he get
nonsense.
canceled by Hollywood? Because all these awake guys always get canceled.
Yeah, but he still makes money, so he was on Fox.
Gotcha.
So, it was on two different channels because it did well. It's like him, and he owns like an outdoor store, like a Bass Pro Shop.
Okay.
And he's got like 3 daughters and a wife, and then it's like a family sitcom or whatever. But he always cracks Republican jokes because his wife's a Democrat and his kids are Democrats, except for his one daughter who's like his pride and joy, and then like his son-in-law is like a hippie commie, he's always making jokes about Obama to him and stuff. It's funny.
Maybe I'll check it out. Like, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV shows, but you did mention Dennis. His brother Randy Quaid, I know, is awake.
Hello, Randy.
I've seen a lot of stuff on him. Oh, that dude's funny as hell, man. I mean, obviously one of his most iconic roles is Christmas Vacation. Eddie? I love that movie.
Yeah, and then Home Alone, obviously. And
Wait,
then,
Randy Quaid's in Home Alone?
No, the brother.
Dennis?
Yeah,
Dennis
Randy.
Quaid's in Home Alone? He
Are we
is?
talking about the same person?
Dennis Quaid, right? Like,
Dennis Quaid.
yeah. Dennis,
Yeah.
like from like The World After Tomorrow and a bunch of other. I mean, he's in a lot of stuff. He's been around for a while.
What's the name of the dude who plays Marv?
Oh no, that's a different guy. That's what is that guy's name? He's
I
funny
forget.
too.
Oh yeah, he's in the little kid baseball movie.
Stern, like Daniel Stern, I think is his name.
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but Randy Quaid's funny in the second Caddyshack movie.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get him take a chainsaw. And he's ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you've certainly made it very clear how your legal system works, Mr. Young. Now I'd like to explain a little bit about the Peter Blunt system. You see, I don't go in for lawsuits and motions or any of that legal stuff. No. See what happens is I find out where you live, and then I come to your house, see? And I beat down your door with a fucking baseball bat. And then I'm gonna make a bonfire with a Chippendale, maybe roast that golden retriever, then eat it, and then I'm coming upstairs, Junior, and I'm gonna grab you by your Brooks Brothers PJs, and then I'm gonna take your brand new BMW and cram it up your tight ass. Do we have an understanding?
He's also great in Independence Day.
Oh, he saves that. He's the hero.
Yeah.
He's the hero of the whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah, Randy Quaid's pretty legendary. So is Dennis, obviously.
Yeah.
I like Daniel Stern too. He's funny as hell. I don't know if he's awake or asleep in real life, but he's a funny dude. On camera.
So yeah, I was brain fart for a second there.
Nah, you're good.
What else happened in the news? Anything good that you can think of?
Nothing
Besides-
good. When was the last time you seen anything good in the news?
Oh, I got Mersheimer's new book. I forgot I pre-ordered it, and it came in. It came in the 3rd, but I didn't find it until yesterday. So I read like 4 chapters already.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's I can't reach it, but it's called How States Think. So it has to do with like rational and like is it rational? Like, was it rational for Putin to invade Ukraine? You know, in his world, yes, it's a completely rational decision. You know what I mean? Like, thinking about shit like that, he has a bunch of examples that go along with the rational, and then a couple of irrational, and then like quick decisions, like in like the Cuban Missile Crisis was a crisis. So instead of like a long-term strategy that still states act rationally when they determine their long-term strategy, because not having a strategy is just chaos. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to have a projected plan of what you want to do as a nation state to protect your security. You know,
Well, you would think.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you still need to be a state. Your protection, security is your number one concern. So
It
you have
should be.
Well, exactly.
Yet our borders are wide open, but yeah, it should be.
Well, yeah, it was 100. There's a million reasons. It doesn't matter if our borders are. It's just in general, just in
Yeah, I
the
know.
concept-
I was just
in the concept
looking
of
for a way to
great power.
shoehorn that in. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so one of the examples he brings up is getting a lot of talk lately is World War II, and
Yes.
it's
Getting a lot of censored talk too, or yeah.
Yeah, true. But he brings up the example of put yourself in the feet of the Japanese pre-Pearl Harbor,
Mm-hmm.
right? They had invaded China. They're pushing down into China. They're getting the Indo-Pacific, yada yada, and then the Dutch, the English, and the Americans started putting the embargoes on their oil, slowing down their machine. So now they have to sit back and be like, okay, what do we do? You know, if we want to continue conquest and do this, we need oil. Do we make trades with somebody? Is somebody open up for negotiation? But, you know, the Americans don't seem like they're up for negotiation. And even though they're not at war with the Germans, they're funding the Allies across the Atlantic with supplies all day long. You know, do we strike Pearl? What happens if we strike Pearl? You know, I mean, they talk this shit out rationally.
Yeah.
And, you know, so to say like Putin or Hitler or whoever is an irrational, crazy person, it's just not logical or rational to even say that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the narrative they gave us all through school, is that Hitler's some kind of unhinged madman, right? And
And,
maybe he is.
and Putin's evil, and all he wants to do is conquer all of Russia back, and all this to make them think that nation states besides ours don't act rationally because they don't do what we tell them or what we want them to do.
Right. Well, yeah, you're definitely right. It's a matter of
At the time, he even says 25% of the time his argument doesn't work. But the overwhelming majority of the time, you got to have a plan, and you base that plan, just like individuals, on past pretenses and wherever you look at history, you look at examples to accurately predict the best you can of what might happen when you don't have the knowledge of the future.
right.
You know what I mean? So states act in certain ways. And he brings up like World War One, where it's like everybody's building up to try to maintain power, and you end up going to war. Whereas in World War II, Chamberlain chose to not escalate. There's not really escalating, but like counter power, like building up his own military to counter the other military, so nobody feels safe until you're all strong. But when you're all strong, you end up fighting because you're afraid the other guy's going to attack you or whatever.
Mm. You
But
brought
again,
up the
only 4 chapters in.
you brought up the Russian thing, and man, maybe it's just me. I'm just so sick of hearing about Russian propaganda. Oh, Russians interfering with our elections. The Russians this, the Russians that. I've been hearing that shit since day one, since we were born in the fucking 80s, and I'm just so sick of it because so much of it is so untrue. And I see it all over Twitter all day long, on both sides. Oh, the Republicans are, sided with the Russians. The Democrats have sided. Stop with the Russian shit. Please stop. Does Putin care who gets elected? Yeah, I think to some degree he does. Is Putin interfering in our elections? I highly
Yes.
doubt it. Is he?
Why?
To what
Why?
degree?
Why wouldn't he? We screw with everybody else. Why wouldn't you have the opportunity to get a preferable outcome?
Okay.
What's the incentive not to?
So what does he benefit from if he interferes in the election? Who does he want?
In my opinion, I think Putin prefers Trump because Putin wants out of that. He wants that war to end.
Sure.
And I think, not counting Israel nonsense, if you just talk about Ukraine solely as an issue, I think Trump has the better chance of negotiating that and a more favorable outcome than anybody else.
I also think Trump is willing to negotiate that because he's said numerous times he wants to end that war. And I don't care what Kamala says because she's already proven herself to be a liar to me. Just in the last 2 months alone, she's told how many lies? I don't even know. I stopped counting.
Well,
So, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go.
Oh, I was just going to say that, yeah, I don't believe her. I think that she's part of the war party. Now, she may not personally want war, but her bosses want war. And yeah, so I think Biden, Kamala, what's the difference? Newsom, we're going to be at war forever if you put any of those people in office.
In Putin's mind, yeah, because Kamala is just more of the same. Besides the 4 years that Trump was in there, because remember, before Trump was only in from 16 to 20. In a big part, remember how Kamala was supposed to be the border czar, right?
Uh-huh.
Biden's job was Ukraine. That's why he has all the connections, all the business in Ukraine. And in 2012, when that other dude got elected, I forget his name.
Yeah.
And he was coupling up with the Russians.
That was 2014, I think, by the way, but go ahead.
In 2012, he won.
Oh, okay. The coup was in 2014. Okay.
You're right. The coup was in 2014. But what made the coup happen is that we offered them a deal, and he preferred Russia's deal. So the U.S. funded a coup to overthrow him and get a Western-friendly leader.
Yeah.
All true, all under Biden's watch. Boom. Trump comes in, doesn't push NATO, but he does transfer a bunch of weapons and funding to the Ukrainians. They got him on that. But he didn't go any farther. I'm not defending the man, but that's what happened. And now Biden comes back in. They push NATO past the red line that William Byrne wrote the memo on to Condoleezza Rice, yada, yada, yada. Putin responds like we knew he would. You know, I mean, like, again, it's not like we didn't think this out knowing that these weren't going to be his responses. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they intentionally provoked him, and they've been doing it for a long time. I would say we, but we're not involved with that. But yes, the United States government and its arms and intelligence agencies and allies definitely have been provoking these people for years. I'm sorry?
Yeah, the side that we're stuck on.
Right. And I think if obviously if the American people, or the vast majority of the American people, actually knew what was really going on and knew the truth, they'd be outraged, just like we are. Like, this is ridiculous. Just leave these people alone already. Stop killing.
Speaking of the truth, I went, now I can't remember the whole thing, but on Breaking Points, Sagar and Crystal got into the Carter building. And apparently, like, the video happened, they interviewed the guy who answered the door, but it might not be as bad as it seems. But then the police chief confirmed that they were taking over buildings, but they might have not taken over buildings. And now it happened in Denver too.
And Chicago. And apparently, where was this? Dallas?
Hurts just threw an interception in the end zone.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so my brother actually sent me a video on that the other day, and this guy goes over there and investigates. And I think there's been some false narratives that have been shared. But yeah, after watching this video and seeing what's happening, yeah, it does seem like, did they actually take over the building in the way that, the news was reporting it? I don't think so. But yeah, I do think that that's been going on. And here, let me show you this. Because this is the mayor of Aurora. Let me find it real quick. Here it is. Let me pull
Aurora, Illinois. It's a suburb of Chicago.
What's that?
Aurora, Illinois.
No, Aurora, Colorado. The first.
No, but Wayne's from Aurora.
Oh,
Illinois.
yeah, he is. Yeah, my bad.
Aurora,
right.
Illinois.
Hi, I'm in Delaware.
Yeah, Delaware.
Oh crap.
The Bucks and Broncos.
Let me share the audio so you can hear it. But this is the mayor. Let me just minimize it for a second. Yeah, Aurora, Colorado Mayor Mike Kaufman and then I'll just play the video.
I think I saw this.
Let me put it in context first. This concern that it's 3 apartment complexes, but that's not to minimize it at all. But we're, the 51st largest city in America. We're 400,000 in population, and so, but there are 3 apartment complexes that we believe in, that where there is a concentration of Venezuelan migrants, and the criminality is unfortunately followed. So we have a task force with local, state and our federal law enforcement partners working on it to root these criminals out and get them off the streets. But it certainly concerns me. But it is in 3 apartment complexes.
Now, you and I talked about this issue of apartment complexes, migrant gangs. We talked about this at length last week. And I did ask you if you knew about armed people going around and intimidating people at these complexes. And you said you did know that this was happening to the apartment building owners, and to an extent that we knew it was happening to people who lived there. But my question is, when did you first see this video, and when did you know it was to the extent that we're seeing in this video?
Well, we've known, I think I put out a couple weeks ago that we had formed the task force. We knew at that time that we had formed the law enforcement task force to root them out, that there was intimidation going on, and part of that intimidation certainly involves individuals with weapons.
So I'm going to cut it there. I'll link it in the chat if anybody wants to watch the whole thing. But again, if this is all nonsense and they're just making this up, and why would the mayor come out and say that? He says more, because I've seen other clips of him.
It sounds like some shit out of the wire.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of does.
Like,
But
like
yeah,
at
if this
least
is a false story, then why is the mayor why is the mayor doing interviews on it? He would just
like
come out and be like, "No, that's all fake news."
in season 1 of The Wire, a dude gets off of a murder beef, even though there was an eyeball witness, right? So later, someone shoots the eyeball witness in the middle of the courtyard so everyone can see it, right? And then the cops are like, why would you kill the guy after he testified? They didn't figure it out, right? So then someone lets it slip to the news. The news is like, oh, a witness got murdered. And the mayor is like, I'll put a task force on it right away. And because he doesn't really care, they put a task force of fucking bums together. You know what I mean? And then the bums end up being The Wire. But
Right. Find
it's
me the
like,
worst detectives that you can possibly find, and that's the ones we're
yeah,
gonna put on the
like
case.
it got a chance for everybody to cut off their dead weight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the theory is, all right, go get a couple of drug busts and make it look like we did something and have a nice day. But then it turns out that it's a criminal enterprise, and the cops, the command is still like, I told you to only get a couple of drug busts, and now you're taking money that fell out of a building into a senator aide's hands and pulling him over and taking his money because they're paying off the politician. And it all, and they got heat for going too far in investigation. So then, because then they were getting heat from the politicians on top of like the
Right. Because
commissioner.
now you're lining the big boys' pockets, and yeah, they don't like that. You're gonna get us all killed, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, like you're getting the mayor mad. The mayor's getting mad at me, so now I'm mad at you.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, just random, I would like to remind everybody that it's been 5 years since Epstein was arrested, and other than him and Maxwell, nobody's even been questioned, let alone arrested. Let's move on. I just want to remind.
Trump did say that if he won, he'd let it out.
I saw that. I hope he delivers on what he says he's going to. He also said he's going to declassify a whole lot of UFO stuff. He also said he's going to declassify.
I just heard Kennedy and Epstein.
Yeah, he said those two things as well. I think he was on. I don't know if he was on Lex Friedman. I saw a clip of him talking about the UFO stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't say he was going to declassify all of it. He said he's going to declassify a bunch of it, and he said, "I will do that. I have to do that." Something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah,
that's the big secret to me. Is the ET stuff. Like there's no way that these people that run the show, they don't want that to come out, and there's good reason for it.
Well, we still have like 63 days left or something till the election, right? So a lot could happen in 2 months.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. And it's almost like they're prepping us for it in some kind of weird way, because like, you have Grush who comes out and speaks last year or whatever at the Supreme Court hearing, and now, after like 3 weeks later, the Pentagon forms a website, and then they start releasing little bits of video and information, stuff that I had already seen, that most of the UFO community is already familiar with. Nothing new to the majority of us. But since then they've been kind of just dripping a little information out here and there, so I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is just to shut us up and keep us quiet. Like, here you go, here's a couple scraps from the table. Yeah. Or if they're prepping us for something else. I don't know.
Well, is there anything still open as like hold on, I'm sorry. Is there any like current congressional committee still open?
Yeah, so as far as I know, Tim Burchett, Anna Paula Luna, and Gates, right? They were kind of heading this up. And I saw
is that over now?
No, I saw Burchett a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a month or so ago, and he said that that they're still working on it, but he said that they're basically get stonewalled everywhere they go.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they bring them down in a skiff, top secret stuff, and then they don't basically tell them anything. Again, according to Tim, or they tell them stuff, but it's like stuff they already know.
Right.
Not like they don't give them the juicy part of the steak. They're just getting like the trimmings and the fat. And like I said, I think that's a huge thing. They're never going to release that. Not as long as these people run the show, because that would basically cripple. It would cripple everything. The world would literally change overnight.
Yeah, but back in reality,
This
do
is
you
reality.
no
But
man
go
come
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
Do you think that do you think they'll let Trump win?
I don't think they'll let him win. I mean, they seem to be trying really hard to push Kamala, including like some of the. Have you seen some of these poll ratings? There's no way that they're accurate. Like,
Yeah, well, no, the newest ones came out and said Trump's starting to pull ahead in the swing states. I saw that yesterday.
he's had to have been ahead the whole time, right?
I don't-
Like, come on. And some of the ones I see have Kamala up by like 10 and 15%. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who honestly believes that?
I'm not talking about like. Do you think they'll even let him get to the vote?
Well, I think the first thing they'll try to do, right, is probably try to imprison him, if they can do that, right? I doubt that that's going to happen, but
He's got nothing in court between now and then.
well, no, he has his sentencing coming up, right? I think it's like on the 18th or something like that.
For what, the felonies? The
Yeah,
tax
whatever that. I think I
stuff?
had.
Yeah, but there's no jail time in that. I don't think.
I don't trust them. So I don't know. I think that will be step one. That will almost certainly fail. Then maybe they may try to assassinate him again. I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. But if he wins, I think that they will. Though something's coming. Now, whether we get another pandemic or major economic trouble, but yeah, they're going to throw a bunch of stuff. I think at him very maybe shortly on, maybe after a few months in office to try to,
Oh, so you think,
paint. Look what happened. You all elected Trump, and look at all this bad stuff that's happening. This is your fault, taxpayers, voters, etc.
see, I don't know. I don't see that theory. I don't.
What do you think will happen?
I think if he wins, the scenario changes.
Oh, a lot of things I think will change. At least I'm
Yeah,
hoping they
but-
will.
I don't know if he wins. I don't know. I don't know if it's smarter to get him before he wins or to see if they can hypothetically win the election, steal the election, whatever, and not have to have him in office.
Well,
'Cause
I think. Go ahead.
if he gets into office, the jig is up. You know what I mean? Like he technically has the power of the plum book, which is 9,000. There's 9,000 appointed jobs, so he can clean out the bosses of all the departments.
Drain the swamp, if you will. I don't know. I think that they're definitely going to try to cheat. Not Trump, but I think the left will definitely try to rig the election. They're already prepping us for it now. Like we were just talking about the whole Russia stuff, And again, I think this is them planting the seed. So if Trump wins, we told you guys months ago it was Russian collusion. Russia got him. Go ahead.
The other thing I saw was they were like Trump. They're trying to get him to be like, if you lose, will you accept the results of the election? Like, why would you ask someone that unless you plan on cheating? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like
Is this a fair game? Because why
Is it-
would I not
I
accept
don't
them?
commit to being like, no, I'm not going to complain if you obviously fucking cheat. If they cheat, whatever. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Whatever, you know what I mean? Who knows
Yeah.
what's going to happen? But I don't understand why you would ask, like, who would even answer that question? And then they're like, see, he won't answer it because he's going to reject the results, and that means it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It kind of sounds like some South Park shit to me. Like, it's such a cheesy setup. Like, wow, that's a strange question to ask.
Yeah. Why would you ask me that?
Why are you asking me that? Are y'all trying to cheat or some shit? Because now I'm thinking y'all are. I didn't even think that before, but I do now. I don't know. It's really bizarre.
And another
Do you
thing
think they
that-
rigged the 2020 election?
What happened?
Do you think they rigged the 2020 election?
Do I think Trump lost by ballots? No. But I do think that the weaponizing of the three-letter agencies against him and them coercing social media to not show this and show this can sway an electorate, and I think that I don't think he got cheated by paper ballots. You know what I mean? I think he got cheated out of a fair election.
So you think he actually lost the election ballot wise, but because of all of the fake influence from Twitter and Google and all that stuff, you think that's what pushed Biden over the
Yeah,
threshold?
I do. I think that's the most probable thing.
I think
Um,
that sounds accurate to me.
and I'm not saying that it couldn't have been paper ballots and they cheated the whole fucking time, but of the evidence that I've seen and from what I've heard or whatever, the most probable likelihood in my mind is that because I really thought Trump was going to win that time. I thought it was like he had it in the bag.
Yeah, I don't really I haven't like gone down the rabbit hole on that, but from what I have seen, I think he got cheated. But
Russia, they made up Russiagate. They, the shit with Hunter's laptop and Hillary's emails, like all that nonsense sways people. And then you beat it into their head that, people remember the lie, not the truth.
Yeah.
The lie gets remembered first, and the truth comes so much later. It's already stuck.
Yeah.
How many people still think that Trump is a Russian asset?
A lot of people, I think. Again, which is why they're pushing it again, because a lot of people didn't wake up to the fact that that's actually all misinformation. There was a whole misinformation campaign.
It took Snopes or fact check, whatever, 10 years or 8 years to finally admit that when he's like, there's good people on both sides of Charlottesville, that they were lying about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how many people do you know still say, like, he told people to put Clorox, to inject Clorox in their arms to get through the pandemic? I'm like, that's not what he fucking said, dude.
No. But we know that MSM does that. They just did it recently with Rogan.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
But it makes it look like you have to constantly defend Trump, and it's like, I'm not defending Trump. Your argument is so fucking stupid about the guy. Like, there's plenty of shit to give Trump about a whole bunch of other more important issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then, like, why even do that nonsense? Like, this shit at Arlington Cemetery, or like Tim, like, or the stolen valor with the guy running with Harris. Or Kamala. Fucking did a whole bunch of things to get into her position. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go after people for stupid shit like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care that JD Vance fucked the couch. I don't care what Kamala did, how many dicks she slept to get in the office.
Right.
It's not, there's so much, like, I don't need to do, like, it's almost like petty. One of the biggest beefs I have against Trump is the way he handled COVID and all the money he spent, which caused all that inflation later on. And no, Biden didn't help it. He kind of made it worse. But because they can't blame Trump for inflation, because it would admit that what they blame inflation on would be a lie. You know what I mean? Because when Trump spent all that dough causing the inflation, because it comes so much later, you can't blame it on greedy companies and say that, you know what I mean? Like, you blow up your own spot.
Yeah.
By trying to put the truth on him, so you just don't talk about it at all.
Yeah, just seemingly like they've been running a smear campaign on this dude for like 8 years now, and a lot of the stuff that comes out about him is not even true. Actually, maybe most of it's not.
Yeah, they just they'll go over some dumb shit, and you know what I mean. Like, I can't. I want to argue about Trump. I want to tell you how much Trump sucks. I want to talk about his policies. I want to talk about inflation. I want to talk about the war. I want to talk about Planetar, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? Let's talk about that shit.
Well, like you said, there's so many things to go after him on, and they don't go after him on any of those things. Instead, it's just misinformation.
I don't want a convicted felon rapist. I'm like, he wasn't convicted of rape. It was a stupid. I don't want to talk about that trial. That trial was nonsense.
The trial was pretty much a sham from what I saw.
It's in the 34 felonies, but they never mentioned that. No one's ever been charged with a felony like this. Has never been charged as a felony on anyone else before.
Right.
They made it a felony to make it look like felony charges.
Right.
Bullshit. It's bullshit, and that's just enough. Like, it's like their trump card, pun intended.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
felonies. I don't want a felon. I can't vote for the felon. I'll vote for her. You
Yeah.
know, like, make a good argument for her. Make a Kamala argument. Don't make an anti-Trump argument.
Right. And again, if you're going to make an anti-Trump argument, attack his policies, attack some of the laws and stuff. They don't have any of that. The only thing that I ever hear is Project 2025, which again is a whole lot of convoluted misinformation that people say about it.
And Trump, and the funny thing is, they're like, oh, like 40 of the people that worked on it used to work in the Trump office. And it's all the people he said can't come back under his new campaign.
yeah, fired them all. But it's just...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And Trump on Friedman, as I watched that interview, he said something along these lines that 2025 is the heritage. He's like, I heard about it. He's like, I didn't even know about it until they brought it up. And I purposely didn't even read it so they can't say that I knew about it.
Right.
He's like, it's stupid. He could be lying. I don't know. But if he's, it's dumb. It's dumb to me.
So, like, I have a person at my job the other day, right? And this came up, and immediately, well, have you seen Project 2025? I was like, yeah, I seen it. She's like, so you're okay with him banning abortion? I was like, did you read Project 2025? Because there's no mention in there of banning abortion. He wants to give abortion rights to the states. And to be fair, most laws should be given to the states. We should have very few federal law. And I didn't get mad. I might have went a little overboard, and then I apologized to her later because it's just so frustrating to hear people just parrot talking points. Like, did you even look at this? Or you just read this or heard this on the news, and now you're just parroting what these other sheep have said? And none of y'all have actually looked into it, because if you did, you would know that what you just said is not true. But here we are.
Well, in 2022, people were expecting the red wave, right? Which might have actually happened if they didn't bring up the abortion thing. He lost because of the abortion. Remember that 2022 red wave that was supposed to happen?
Vaguely. Okay.
Well, something happened in like 2021. I forget.
Well, COVID happened around that time.
No. The Roe versus Wade got put back to the states.
Oh, yeah.
So that, in my opinion, that is what killed the Republicans in the 2022 election. And now it's just abortion again. I feel like every election that I've ever been involved in my life has had abortion at the center of it.
Yeah.
It's always about my fucking body, my choice, which I respect. Which means it comes to COVID too. Mm-hmm.
Same. Yeah, how can you have one without the other? Hey, we're going to force you to take this, but we're not going to force you to... Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it's kind of hypocritical.
You know what I mean? It's hard to get people to not, especially chicks. I mean, I think I shared it with you today, right? There was a poll, and it was like Republicans, Democrats, men, women, and something else. And like the biggest Kamala branch was like, single white broads.
I saw the poll. I don't know if it was you that sent it to me, but I saw it. And it was like, what's the most important topic to you? And it was like abortion. And yeah, that's an important topic.
No. It wasn't
go ahead. Sorry.
An abortion. It was like, it had like it was red on top and blue on the bottom. It was kind of wavy depending on the 5 or 6 categories. You know what I mean? It said like men. So like it was stronger at the bottom for Trump than it was at the top for her. So the thing was like a wave.
Yeah.
And then the Kamala's biggest spike, the only thing that she was winning in was is women, and especially single women.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic, how do you feel about abortion?
Lady.
What's that?
The childless cat ladies.
The childless cat ladies, yeah. How do you feel about abortion while we're on the topic? We don't have to get into the whole thing, just real quick. What's your take on it? Are you pro-choice? Are you pro-life? Are you somewhere in the middle?
Well, I'm pro-choice because it's your body, your choice. But to say it's not what it is, you know what I mean? Because it is killing kids. then there's the question of, well, when is it a kid? When is it, when does the light go on? When does life start? Yada, yada, yada. Whatever.
And yeah, people have been debating that for a while now.
Yeah, but it's not
I
like
don't
it's, it's not like it's a new thing. They've been doing shit to stop getting pregnant for a long time.
Yeah.
There's always like that spell that you had to drink. The night guy, the little witch gave you the drink the day after, like the Plan B pill back in the day.
I'm sorry, what is that?
A tea, princess. From the king. It will rid you of any unwanted consequences.
Yeah, but it's really not my business. It is the people involved. And, there's no right answer, like, oh, you should just keep the baby and put it up for adoption. Okay, that sounds easy for someone who didn't grow a child inside them for 9 months, then have to give it away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kids are fucking expensive. Kids, God bless their little souls, can really fuck up your life. You know what I mean? Especially if you're 14, especially if you got raped, incest, all that
Sure.
fucking shit. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, it's not my decision for you to make a decision on your body between you, the doctor, if you care to listen to him, your spouse, your family, you, not my problem. But hypothetically, if I was president, I would not sign a law that outlawed abortion. I would leave it up to the states. Because I was president. And if I was a governor, I would not sign a bill that outlawed it in my state. I would prefer to conquer other fucking mountains. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the determining. I mean, I'm not trying to use it as a cop out. I kind of am. But if I was in that situation in today's world, there's higher things on my list than if abortion should be or should not be illegal. And again, then there's I get the, if the kid, you can't have an abortion if the kid could live. I got a one of my sisters was born like 6 weeks early, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's an important topic, but for me, there's a lot of other topics that are a lot more pressing that we have at the moment. I think that are a lot more important. Like for example, the whole war thing. That there's people dying. So like, yeah, I get it. Abortion's important, but is people dying not more important than?
Yeah.
So
how about
just to give an example? What's that?
Debts are the debt, that pesky debt that no one ever wants to talk about.
Well, the economy is also a massive problem. So again, like things are becoming more and more unaffordable. I have so many, almost all my coworkers, almost all of them have a second job. Almost all of them. Some of them have 3 jobs. That's crazy. I don't live in California or New York. There's no reason, like it's not that expensive to live here, or it shouldn't be, but it is. Did you guys just score again?
No, but we just got a first down at the 2-minute warning. We're first and goal on the 2, up by 2.
All right.
The touchdown puts it away. Hypothetically.
Well, I hope they throw it to Brown.
I did see Michael Vick score 28 points in 7.5 minutes once.
Yeah, against the Giants, I think, if I recall.
There.
Yeah, that's burned in my brain. And then the Deshaun Jackson with his little showboating into the end zone. Yeah, that's burned into my brain too.
14th best in the NFL, 8.7 yards per return. Has not returned one for a touchdown this year. Waits. And it's a line drive kick. Jackson bobbles it and now has to try and recover. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Deshaun Jackson still not in, and now in for the touchdown. No flags. Unbelievable. No time left. Eagles win.
It's tough being a Giants fan. so oh God, is it bad that like the season hasn't even started for the Giants yet, and I feel like the season's already over? Is that bad? Like we're already like eliminated from the playoffs, and we haven't even hiked the football yet.
Your hopes are that low?
Yeah, they've been low for a while now. I don't complain because again, they've won several times since I've been on the planet, and I'm grateful for that. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it could always be worse. I could be like a Cleveland Browns fan or something like that. Those poor bastards.
True.
I mean, they never win anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Respect to Eli.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Eli. Appreciate that.
Little bitch.
Well, there are people that are like that I do have to remind sometimes because they're like, "Oh, you guys just won because your defense was great." I'm like, yeah, but
No.
Eli was MVP in both of those Super
Eli.
Bowls too. Just so you know."
I
But
just
yeah, our
give
defense
Eli-
was great.
I give Eli shit because he wouldn't play for the Chargers. I thought that was bullshit.
I thought it was bullshit too. Um, yeah, I thought he was being a little bitch, and I remember not liking him, and I remember a
Mhm.
lot of Giant fans not liking him, and then he won that first Super Bowl, and we all just instantly forgave him.
I
All
like
right,
him.
all right, you cool, man, you're cool. It's all right.
I like him.
Yeah, no, I like him now. I think him and Peyton are hilarious.
Have you seen the Eli goes undercover at Penn State tryouts?
Yeah, yeah,
As-
yeah.
as
That's a good one.
And his name's like Chad or something.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. See, I think he has like a wig on or something like
Yeah,
that.
the
It's so
handlebar
stupid.
mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's funny. And so is his brother. And I think when you put the
Yeah,
two
they're
of them
great.
together, they're both really funny.
Yeah,
But-
Jason Kelsey's funny too. I was watching some stuff from him today.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Jason's hysterical.
Is he? Yeah, I haven't heard him talk much. Did you see that weird shit on X? I don't know if this is true or not, but like, people are saying that like, Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift are gonna break up in like a month.
That's funny because I just heard they were holding hands and it looks like they're going to get engaged today.
I don't know. I just, you know how people say there's like arranged marriages, right? And like arranged relationships in Hollywood and the music industry. Like some of the big ones are like, Will Smith and Jada. I'm not saying that these are true, but people allege that they're only like together because they're like a power couple, but there's no love or anything there. I don't know. But Jay-Z and Beyonce come up a lot. Anyway, these people are proposing that Taylor and Travis are in a completely fake relationship and just did so for publicity. I'm not saying that that's true. I could see I can see the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I can see that too for the conspiracy theory side of it.
I mean,
And
it
then
does make sense. Go
the
ahead.
one thing that makes it, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's plausible.
Well, it does make sense because it can boost both of our careers, right?
Okay, hold on, but she was already the biggest star in the world.
She was.
Okay, so let's
It's
not
more
get
beneficial to him for sure.
Let's not
Go
go
ahead.
too far off the deep end yet. But there's a meme that always makes me think of what the hell is he doing? Have you seen his two previous girlfriends compared to her?
No, I don't think so.
They got booties, and Taylor Swift has no booty. I have a better ass than Taylor Swift, and my back is flat.
She don't have many curves going
No
on.
booty.
I mean, she's pretty, but she's
she's all right.
I'm just talking from a physical perspective. She's pretty.
Yeah,
But yeah, when you throw her up against maybe some other celebrities, she's not even in the same room. She's probably not even in the same building, let alone the same room. I saw a poll the other day that that compared I think Zendaya,
was that the chick from Dune?
and the chick from Sydney Sweeney or whatever. Do you know who Sydney Sweeney is?
Is that the movie or the person's name?
That's her name. Yeah.
I know.
She's an attractive girl to say the least. And the poll was like, which one's hotter or whatever, and it wasn't even close. And again, I think Zendaya is pretty, but some of the the beauty standards that like Hollywood and maybe society are pushing on us now, I don't get them. I mean, maybe at first I thought it was just me. Again, I'm not saying that these people are unattractive; they are attractive, but what's really attractive to me, I don't think of Taylor Swift or Zendaya. They don't come to mind. I don't know.
My wife got surprised at me. We were talking about like attractive Hollywood chicks, and I said that I'm not the biggest fan of Megan Fox.
I think Megan Fox was pretty hot when she first came on the scene, and yeah,
I'll give her Transformers.
Yeah, I'm not feeling her now, but yeah, when I was 20 years ago when she first came out, yeah, she was pretty hot.
No, I mean I think I'm still a Jennifer Aniston kind of guy.
Same. I always found Jennifer Aniston very
Yeah.
attractive. Same. And then Brad left her for Angelina Jolie, and she's somebody that I've never really found attractive.
Yeah,
No
she's
offense to Miss Jolie or Mrs. Jolie, but
Like I maybe Tomb Raider, but no, I'm never a big fan of. Besides Hackers, I was never a big fan of any of her movies, and she sucks in Hackers.
she doesn't, good actress, but just doesn't do it for me.
No, I don't. I can't think of any of her movies that I like. Besides,
The Bone Collector is good.
oh yes, I've never seen that.
Denzel Washington, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind
I
of
guess-
a go ahead.
and I guess Gone in 60 Seconds only because I kind of secretly like that movie for some reason, but not because she's in it.
Yeah.
More of the weird obsession I have with Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah. I didn't know you were obsessed with him. I just thought it was Ben Affleck.
He's got some good. Ben Affleck's the bomb in Phantoms.
He was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
But Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Word, bitch. Phantom's like a motherfucker.
There's this Facebook page that I follow, and there's like a New Jersey radio personality. I'm not sure how famous he is, but it's always like, the Ed Rooney show or whatever. Or no, something Rooney. His last name is Rooney. So I automatically think Ferris Bueller. Like Rooney.
Yeah.
So I'm like, any relation to Ed Rooney? He's a principal outside of Chicago, and every time he posts something, I put it on there. Every once in a while, you get a laugh. And then there was a guy running for office. His last name is Rizzo. I'm like, every relation to Frank. He worked on race cars for 15 years.
Frank Rizzo, Jerky. Oh, it's classic. Could you imagine if the Jerky Boys would never get released today? And that would be a shame.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, as soon as Star 67 came out, man, or Star 69.
Oh, yeah. No, but I mean, like, there was, what was that other show that was on Comedy Central? It was like a prank call show with the Muppets. Prank. Yeah, that show, too. That was funny.
I still like the Big Boy.
Yeah.
The Kung Fu Chicken.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
That's
Fortunately,
listen. That's if you want to look that up, it's called the YouTube channel. If you look up Ownage, like OWANGE, like Ownage.
Yeah.
And Chinese food prank call or something will come up. The Big Boy.
No, hello. Look here, big boy. I need to make big order.
I start work on this coming Thursday.
Do you want this in the video?
I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were done or we were still going. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You're gonna be subbing, right?
Yeah, but I think I picked the wrong school because I'm only supposed to do one school because it's the one down the street from me, which is a high school. But I think for some reason, I'm signed up for the primary elementary school, not the primary high school.
Is that far from you?
No, it's like 2 miles and change, as opposed to like less than a mile.
But it's elementary instead of high school.
Yeah, and I picked days that Michelle doesn't have a car, so I have 2 days. I have Thursday and Friday.
I would love to get video footage of you in that classroom.
I know,
all these
right?
young kids just.
I'll be nervous as shit. It's just gonna be a bunch of little like 10-year-olds.
Stop! Put that down! Knock it off!
You're a fucking loser.
Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah.
No. Monsters.
What are you doing with this?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Oh, man.
Just hope none of them are like me.
Oh, I hope they're all like you, just for humor purposes. All right, well, you can go to the principal's office. Actually, you can go with her, and you go too. Actually, you all have detention, all of you.
Or like, I'll get lucky, and like after the end of my second day, I have a bunch of kids just trying to storm down the Federal Reserve.
There you go.
And then I get fired on my second day. I get fired on my day off.
So, Johnny, what'd you learn at school today? Oh, we learned to end the Fed. The Fed is bad. That would be great.
theft, Mom.
I don't even know what it is, but it's bad. You know,
Taxation is theft. They're debating putting long missiles into Ukraine, I guess. Did you see that?
No.
Zelensky's asking for missiles that can strike farther into Russia, obviously, to try to provoke the Americans into a war with Russia.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't give in. I don't know what's going to happen. Like Biden's going to be a lame duck. You know what I mean? Like, he can do whatever he wants without sacrificing anything. He doesn't need to get reelected.
No,
You know what I
not
mean?
at this point. Yeah.
He just can push things on the way out, and the new person can come in and always blame it on the last person. Remember that movie? What's the one? Crash.
I never saw it, but I've heard about it.
All
And
right,
it won an Oscar, I think, for Best Picture.
Yeah. Well, there's a scene in it, and Michael Douglas becomes like the president's appointee to stop drugs at the border. So he goes down to figure it out, and he goes into his office, and the guy he's replacing is, they're, shaking hands and saying, here's my job. I'm out. Have a good day. And he hands him a letter, and he's like, the first time you have a problem, read this letter. So, time goes on, and Michael Douglas has a problem, or he gets in trouble for something, opens the letter, and the letter says, blame whatever it is on me. The next time you get in trouble, sit down and write a letter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you can get away with a lot of shit, and Kamala or Trump can be like, that was Joe's fault.
That was on Joe, right?
That happened last year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nothing I could do.
So I actually meant to ask you earlier when we were talking a bit about Kamala and Trump, but there's been a lot of discussion. Obviously, Trump is giving full sit-down interviews, like just answering straight-up questions. He's been giving them to a lot of people. Again, we mentioned like Lex Friedman the other day. So he's been all over the place, kind of just giving interviews, speaking everywhere. And then we have Harris, on the other hand, who is only done really like one or two, and they're all in like these super controlled settings with predetermined question.
And she had
questions. Go ahead.
And she had note cards.
Yeah, I mean, does that? I know that says something to us, but do you think that the rest of the American people, does that say something to them? That hey, this person's got to be totally scripted, but this person is out just ask me some questions, I'll answer them.
At the same time, I mean, I know what you're getting at, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I mean, it's not like Biden was out a lot because they were trying to hide him from being an idiot.
But now Kamala's like the new big thing, and forget Biden. Kamala's she's the future of the United States, but she's not talking to anybody.
Well, because you know what happens when she goes off script. So
she says a bunch of gibberish and cackles a lot.
Yeah, so they were trying to avoid her doing whatever the hell that she does. No way. Get him. End of the game. Eagles win. 29-34. So so they're trying to limit her exposure. Of the less you see her, the less she has a chance of fucking up.
True.
And all they got to do is get her across the finish line without any real tragedies, and they have a good shot of winning.
I get the reasoning behind why they're sheltering her, like keeping her, closed behind closed doors, so to speak. But again, what does the public pick up on this and say, hey, look, this person's out here doing all this talking, answering all these questions, and this other person is not? Do you think that will sway any voters one way or the other? I'm not talking about the people who are automatically going to vote blue and the people that were automatically going to vote red. I'm talking about more of like the middle, the undecided, votes.
It really depends on, to me at least, the people who are undecided. What do they listen to? Who are they? Where are they getting the information from? Why are they undecided in the first place? Is it going to break anybody who was like, oh my God, I'm not going to vote for Kamala? No, I think if anybody who's already decided to vote for her, nothing's going to change their mind. It's like the joke they said about Trump. Like Trump's like, I can go out and kill somebody in the middle of the road and they'll love me. Which is true because the
that is true.
The MAGAs will do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the left lets a lot of things slide that they would never let a Republican slide on, which is where the hypocrisy of the left comes in. But like I'm not voting for Trump or Kamala, and I can't think of anything really that would sway my vote to either one of them. Well, it's never gonna go to her.
Right.
It doesn't matter what Democrat it is. It's not going to any Democrat.
Well, all these they're all on the same team.
At least the DNC Democrat. I mean, RFK is a little different story, but I'm not voting for him either. Hypothetically. I mean, Trump would have to be like everybody from the Mises Caucus is going to be in charge of my economic policy, and one of them is going to be head of the Federal Reserve.
Or maybe he says he's ending the Federal Reserve on day one. Would that sway your vote?
If he's like, if I win, I'll put in some, economics, some dude that I know and trust, and put him in charge of the Fed, and do the best. You can't just end it. You gotta slowly. You gotta pay the debt back. You gotta slowly end it off.
I know we've gone here before. Do we?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, who has to pay it back? The taxpayers? The U.S. government?
Without defaulting, yeah. Hypothetically, we're trying not to default.
I get it, but
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to go into the whole thing.
Just don't pay. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Again, the economics, that's not my game. But
when you're talking about not paying, that kind of gets rid of the whole economic process, because then you're talking about central banking, and the central banking is wanting their money, which means they would probably cause a fucking war somehow.
They've been doing that for decades anyway. So anyway, I don't want to go ahead, finish your point.
Start a war with the Fed, with the bankers of the world, and you want to just end the Fed, you would have to phase it out. You would have to balance the budget and pay off the debt. And then when there is no debt, you can technically end the Fed because you owe them nothing. So you don't actually end them because they're a private company. You just sever the tie between allowing whatever the law is, the amendment, the Federal Reserve Amendment. You know what I mean? You pay it off and you repeal it. And there you go. We can go back to like a gold standard or something. But yeah, I don't see Trump doing it unless like Kamala's like, the day I'm elected, I'm going to invade Mexico too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. For me to vote for Trump,
I don't want to do the lesser of two evils because there's so many things I disagree with Trump on that it's not enough to. I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm not playing the lesser of two evils game. Evil's fucking evil, and I'm not going to support it because voting against Kamala and supporting Trump, technically giving him my vote tells him that I support everything he does, and I don't.
It would force me to compromise my morals. And
I'm never going to find someone who I agree with 100%. But there's enough of him that I don't. He might have better intentions for us than the Democrats do, but that's only because having better intentions for us is a better incentive for him. He's not fucking Spike Cohen who wants to come in and fucking clean the world up. You know what I mean? He's not.
Right.
He's not that guy. And Israel. You know what I mean? Maybe if you bucked Israel.
That's my big thing. Again, now with RFK joining him, because obviously, I'm very supportive of RFK. I pretty much agree with him on almost everything except for the Israel thing. And he just doubled down on that again with Candace Owens recently in a tweet.
Oh, yeah. He backed up Rabbi Shmuley.
Not Shmuley, but Shmuley's master or whatever his, mentor was.
Oh, I was watching something. This is two things. I was watching Dave Smith, and they were on his show, and him and Robbie were talking about the Tucker Daryl Cooper thing.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they said the word that has to do with our friends with the little hats, beeped. Even with the ish, it was beeped. So I just thought that was something I wanted to tell you that. And the other thing is that apparently this happened a couple months ago, but I didn't hear about it. Trump got a $100 million donation from Adelson's, some big donor with a little hat on.
One of their lobbyist groups.
100 mil connected to the AIPAC.
That makes me concerned. It really does.
Well,
it makes me think Trump is part of the swamp too, and if that's the case, then well, we're all kind of fucked.
Well, think about it like this, not to defend anyone, but try to think if you were playing the game, right? Mm-hmm. And you were running up against that lobby.
Mm-hmm.
When Dave Smith and RFK had their great debate on Israel,
mm-hmm.
At the end, Dave was like, is there a powerful Jewish lobby? I mean, lobby with men with little hats on. How powerful is that lobby? And again, he hesitated for like 10 seconds. Yeah, there's a lot of powerful lobbies. You know what I mean? Like, is Trump like playing a master game where he's playing nice until he gets in the seat, and then he's gonna be like, we're not gonna help you anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that had occurred to me. Same thing with RFK too, because it's so bizarre. Because RFK is like so anti-war, but he wants to send money to Israel because they need to finish the job in Gaza. It's like, wait, what? That's so bizarre. So that actually did occur to me. Like, either one, he's on board with this, and that means we're in deep shit. Or two, there's a double cross, or possibly this is a deceptive move. So I hope it's the latter, but I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Maybe. Possibly.
I mean, it's one thing to buck the military-industrial complex. You know, maybe it's one thing to buck the pharmacies, but maybe you can't buck all three.
Well, he knows what he's up against. I mean, he's already had 2 family members, at least 2, potentially 3, get killed. So
yeah, but I'm saying Trump too, whoever. Like, if you are in that situation, this is the scenario you have. You have to, you got to eat piles of shit in that job, and you got to navigate the waters. Right. How big of a hurdle or obstacle, and how much of a pain in the ass can they make your life when you buck them?
Right. I kind of look at it as like a Game of Thrones thing, where maybe you're in the, the small council chamber or whatever, and you may have to go along with things at least while you're in the room, and then you maybe have no intention at all of going along with those things, but you have to say so, because otherwise they'll chop your head off and put it on a spike. It's the game, Again, we've talked about this before. It's a game. And you either play the game well or you don't play the game. So
the game is the game, and you play or you get played.
You two niggas get on it, man, and get it right. See how shit had to be handled, man? The game is the fucking game.
I don't know.
I guess we can end it right there, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Again, episode 16. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. If you made it this long to the end, I'm proud of you. Share it. Even if you don't like it, share it. Look at these 2 idiots. I know these guys, and they're fucking dumb. Do that. Write some bad comments. I don't really care.
These guys suck.
But anyway, Paul, always a pleasure.
Yes, my friend. We'll catch up soon. Thank you all for watching.
Later.
So, Martha's he in?
He's in a meeting.
Oh.
Now get the hell out of here before I really get mad and hurt somebody!
I tried to sweet talk him.
So I heard.